Oh, hello. We just started this. Hey, let's talk about the D chord real quick, just for a few seconds. All right, let's get our drum thrown here. Now this is a D chord on the guitar. See that? No pick. I like to miss every note. Now, in Creedence Clearwater songs, a lot of times he's doing some fun stuff like this. See that fourth finger on the fourth fret of the third string? Now, the song starts out on another D up to the seventh fret. And then it goes to A, and then G, and then back to the D open. And then if you put it together like this, and then it goes into another phase of the song, and that's up here. Then the fourth finger gets into the second string on this chord. This is a G. That was an A and a G. Okay, Willie Nelson said, a friend of his once said that country music is 3 chords in the truth. That was 3 chords. A D, a G, and an A. And country music is a lot of that, you know. Well, we're going to study something today that's called scholarly babbling. Most people don't realize that they're actually being taught by babblers. They're not morons like me. I'm a moron. But I'm good with that. I'm also a heretic because I don't follow the leadership. I just look at Scripture and I look at the original language and I look for first uses of words and what they were in the first use and what they meant. And I don't want to have anything to do with contemporary celebrations. I just ignore them and I just follow Yahusha. So this study is going to be opening some eyeballs. You're not going to believe it at first. You're going to say, I've got to check on this, and I hope you do. The Hebrew script that you're being shown, and I've said this before, that Hebrew script is not Hebrew. It's Assyrian. And then it became Babylonian, and then it was adopted by the captives that went away to Babel, and now we're seeing it taught all over the world as Hebrew. Anyway, hang on. We're going to do the little spin and we're going to show you the study notes. Today we're going to look at the scholarly way to Babel. Yashayahu, or Isaiah 9, verse 16, says, those who guide this people are leading them astray, and those who are guided by them are brought into confusion. The word Babel means confusion. That's an interesting correlation. The scholarly way to Babel would involve training people to understand the spelling of words and their phonology, the way they sound, according to a Masoretic rule that was established in the 8th century. And it was using the Assyrian script, which is Aramaic. Remember the Rabshakeh? He was an Assyrian. And he was asked to speak in Aramaic, not Yehudith. If you just read that in the text, he'll say, wait a minute, Assyrians were using Aramaic? Yeah, that was their language and script. And then we have this popping in. Hold on. All right, got that. Masoretes, what were they? Well, Masorah is a Hebrew word that means tradition. And they were traditionalists. And they were a subset of the Karaim. The Karaim is a Hebrew word that means readers. And that became known today as Karaites, the Karaite sect. They were originally called Karaim. That's the real root. See, that's what we have to do. We've got to dig. We've got to go all the way back to the first use and the origin of these ideas. And you find yourself in the 6th century, 8th century, around the 8th century, when the Masoretes invented little signal marks that were called Nikud marks that would cue the reader to say a word or a vowel that was not really there before until they put it there. So the Masoretic phonology is not found in the Dead Sea Scrolls because this is an 8th century CE manifestation. The Assyrian script is in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it's called Aramaic. Oh, by the way, I should tell you, Aramaic is not a word that's found in the Natsarim writings. It is found in the Tanakh, with the Rabshakeh, that was an Assyrian that was coming to speak to Hezekiah, as they call him. All right. Viewing the past through the lens of the present is virtually impossible because you can't picture it. You can't know what was going on in the past if you're looking at it through the lens of today's present. What's going on now is not what was going on then, but they want you to believe that it is. There's a type of archaeology, or I should say geology, where archaeologists and geologists view the present and they use that as a lens to imagine what the past was like. And the past was not like the present. When they see an animal or a geological formation and they say, oh yeah, this has been there for 300 million years or maybe 250 million years, they don't know what they're talking about. But they imagine that the present state of affairs is actually something to interpret the past with. It's not like this. This stuff wasn't quite like this. It's called uniformitarianism, that where everything is uniform all the time and it doesn't change. But the past is far different than the present. So if you view the past through the lens of the present, your imagination is running away with you because it's not the same. Uniformitarianism, that's a word. I like to throw out new words for you to look up. Uniformitarianism. Especially when we consider the mind-bending range of alterations that have occurred in the babbled languages and all the rules men have made up to control speech. I hear it all the time. They accuse me and others of not knowing what they're talking about because they don't know anything about Hebrew. Well, yes, we do. I can very easily show you Masoretic phonology using the vowel marks that they invented that were never in existence until the 8th century CE. It isn't in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So what are they talking about? There's been a mind-bending level of range of alterations that have occurred in the babbled languages. And they've made rules up to control speech. They want you to think they know what they're talking about. Assumptions are theses. Now that means they're theorems, they're ideas. That's a plural word for thesis. They're only assumptions. And they may or may not be the truth. That's why you have to use the Hegelian dialectic to determine, or at least come closer to a synthesis of the truth. So you have a thesis, an antithesis, and then finally a synthesis. That's the approach, at least. And you do that by listening to the person's thesis. And then you listen to the antithesis, the argument against that, and what reasons they have for it. And then you come to a synthesis to find truth. That's what it is. Hegelian dialectic. It's a debate. That's what it is. We're not having a debate. We're just exposing what was real in the past and not the imaginary ideas that men have invented that want to control your speech. Tiberian Hebrew Nakud vowels. You can look that up. You'll say, wait a minute, is Lew making this stuff up? No, I'm not. I'm actually a researcher. And the Tiberian Hebrew Nakud vowels imposed a strict pronunciation technique that guided the reader in the 8th century CE while using the Assyrian script called Aramaic. It remains the scholarly way to Babel to this very day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next exciting video. Bye.